so nice. So nice.
Episode 515.
Oh, you know I love a good old palindrome.
Welcome to... Doesn't that remind you of Frank and Cindy when he was talking about his band in the 80s, OXO, and he said it was palindromic or something? Anyway,
Yes.
Okay. How are you today, Sarah Louise?
I'm doing real well. Like, it is. It's one of those good days where, like, I crushed everything on the to-do list.
I love that.
I do have one complaint, however, and it's, again, one of those good news, like, highs and lows kind of things. I sold my old dining chairs because I was looking to, like, get rid of all my furniture and get new furniture. And because I got the new chairs, which I loved. And I can't have both at the same time. I have been using those dining chairs also as my office chairs because those went to Ren. Then when I sold those, now I've only got the dining chairs. Well, dining chairs comfortable for dining on for a short period of time, not comfortable for 4 hours of back-to-back sessions or multiple hours of podcasting.
What's the solution here?
I'm currently sitting on my bedroom pillow folded in half because my butt needs some cushion, which is making me very tall, but also very wiggly. I don't know if it's as good or bad for my ADHD. We'll see. But I had like
one of those donuts.
Yeah, I probably do, or like the bouncy chairs. Like the I probably need one of those. Right. That would be good. I was like, because I found some really great stuff on like places like OfferUp and like Craigslist and things like that. And that's where I sell a lot of my furniture. So there's always good stuff on there. So I always look on there. And I did like an initial search for office chairs on there. And then, you know what I couldn't get over?
What?
All of the farts. I thought about the farts. And I was like, I can't have an office chair that's used.
Wait, do you think that is specific to office chairs?
Well, I just think about a chair that you're sitting in for multiple hours a day. You're definitely a dinner table. Chances of farting in that chair, way less.
What about like a couch or something?
I probably wouldn't get, these days I don't think I would get a used couch. I think I'm past used couch on Craigslist sale. Not past used at a consignment store. Because for some reason that's like different. Because a lot of those are like designers that are like model homes that are getting rid of furniture. Less butts.
I cannot believe the farting.
Yeah, Susie, that was it. I intentionally like put a little pin in this story in my head because I was like, Susie will like this story.
I do.
Yeah,
and I know what
you'll get a little giggle out of the fact that it was the farts that really.
And I definitely feel that sense of trepidation.
Poop particles, Suze.
Yes, I know. And like on an airplane seat. Just think of all the farts in those things.
Susie! Why'd you do that?
I ruined flight for you.
You know what? The idea of that gigantic metal thing getting off the ground, I can get by with that. The crazy security, I can get down with that.
Yeah.
The farts, Suze.
Ew.
Why'd you do that to me? Why'd you do that to everybody listening? We apologize here at the Break
It doesn't feel as bad when it's leather or, whatever.
Correct.
But when it's like a fabric.
Yeah. But even the office ones that were like, because if they even looked a little bit like satin, I was like... We're talking a difference of like maybe $25, and I think about how much I used that over time. I was like, no,
the savings does not
doesn't
justify.
No, to it. And then I thought about like the cost per fart. No, not worth it.
Cost per fart.
It's just like
that's great.
Depreciating.
So you're gonna have to buy one new.
Gonna have to buy a new one. Yeah. So I'm in the market.
Just bite the bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like. I never ever thought about like the importance of an office chair, and I would like hear people talk about that, like, and then on the office, it's always like a subject that come like in some. They'll do like an episode that's about like somebody stealing their chair, and it's very important. And I was like, what's the deal with it? Who cares? You don't. It's like you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
I've always had good chairs is what I've learned. Even at the places I've worked.
You were spoiled.
Grad school. Well, gosh darn, I hope for what I was paying for grad school, I hope they were giving me the good ergonomic chairs there.
They had the good stuff.
Yeah. So, but
yeah, it makes a difference. You spend a lot of time.
God. And so I got the wiggles like every day. So that's how I'm doing to answer that very short question.
There you go.
Oh, but I thought I'd tell you about the
We're
farts.
recording later than usual today, so Sarah and I have both cracked open a vino, so this could get ugly real fast.
But it'll get uglier on Susie's side because mine is like the low-cal wine, and I found out it only has 8% alcohol. So what is that?
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
And I poured like
calories.
a small glass, so I'm like, what? Okay, well.
No.
This is just.
Yeah, that is not worth it.
This is basically mouthwash, but without the minty flavor.
That was always the most intense episodes of Intervention is when people.
Oh my God.
Sometimes they end up with like alcoholism, but then they just drink mouthwash.
Well, when there was one
weird.
where somebody was so like craving it that they did the hand sanitizer at the doctor's office, and I was like, wow, I couldn't imagine an addiction that would make me.
How much of that do you think you'd have to have for it to even have an effect?
Hand
Not
sanitizer? Probably
Yeah.
not much.
Right.
I mean, did you smell some of the hand sanitizers that were coming out a couple months ago?
Oh, my God.
I
Let me just
swear
say-
it smelled like a cheap margarita in my car every time I would use it.
Well, I learned the hard way that you do not want to use the hand sanitizer at any Rite Aid, because I checked at several of them. So it must be chain wide where they offer you at like the checkout.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it smells like chicken.
What?
Yes, like chicken soup. And I was like, what?
No.
What do my hands smell like? Yeah.
Well, now I got to
Don't
go to
do
Rite
it.
Aid. I know there's one right down the street from my house. I got to go smell
Yeah,
their hand
see if
sanitizer.
it's there.
For science.
Right. Right. Is this just my bad luck?
I have
Or-
got to smell this.
Well,
Yeah, I
one
got
thing
one-
you are
yeah.
going to love smelling is the luscious treats that HelloFresh is going to send to your door.
Yeah, that delicious
For you
food
to
I'm
make
going to be cooking.
Yes. HelloFresh and their yummy, yummy, yummy recipes that you can choose from each week. They have vegetarian, they have delicious craft burgers, gourmet options. There really is something for everybody. And it is sourced directly from growers and delivered from the farm to your front door in under a week, contact free, of course. It is such a great service because, I mean, nobody wants to make dinner, but
Nobody.
you want a home cooked meal.
Everybody
So it's like, what are you going to do? Right. So this is the perfect solution. And there's not waste because it's exactly how much you need. All the ingredients are right there for you, and it's yummy. So I don't know what to tell you. Just do it. Here is the deal they have for our listeners. Go to HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy12 and use code BrainCandy12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping. HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy12. Use code BrainCandy12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping. If you've been like debating whether to do it, let me just say, please, just dive in. It's yummy and easy.
Yes. And it just like takes the thinking out of it. That's the part I like. I don't have time.
That is true. And I hate going to the grocery store. So, okay. Any hoodles. Susie's documentary roundup for today.
Yes. I love
I
it.
watched the Murder Among the Mormons on Netflix.
I'm so glad you finally did.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
Okay, and you told me it was good, right?
I said it was good, but then I felt like I was left with a lot of questions. Weren't you?
Well, no. What kind
Well,
of
more
questions?
like, don't you think as somebody who likes to know a lot about people, that you wanted to know a lot more about what was going on with each of those? Like the very obviously gay one.
Yes. So Murder Among the Mormons.
I don't know if he's gay.
I
just
didn't even
presume,
know
which
what
is
it
not
was.
fair,
He's for sure gay.
Okay, thank you. I'm just trying to
yeah,
be.
there's
trying
no
to
doubt.
be,
Right, but I didn't even know what this series was about. And so I was kind of expecting polygamy or something,
Yeah.
one of their more controversial elements. I did not see it coming that this was going to be about, documents and like forgeries and
Really a theme going on in
Printing.
Netflix over there.
what forgeries?
Yeah, and like art theft and Is it that we're just discovering all of this right now? Or is it like...
Well, maybe because we watched one, then it keeps thinking we just love forgeries.
This is true. And I did just sign up for Netflix, like, because I've always had somebody else's account or like my boyfriend's or my husband's.
Right.
Or so now it's like, look at all of this. She loves this. She loves this.
Well, I thought it was really good, and it does give you some insight into Mormonism and also just religion in general and the way that they operate. And then, boy, I mean, it was twists and turns I didn't see coming. So
I
that was
know.
fun. Yeah. Oh. And like Sarah said, the commentators were colorful.
That's always the best part. There's always got to be a couple of them where you're just like, it seemed like some of them were starstruck by people within this. Like the documents and forgery world is a really interesting one. I imagine any sort of, but this is, I think that all of these subcultures are like this. Like, I don't even know if that's the right word for it, but like if you were to get together antiquers, or like, you know, the kind of, like they turned, the storage wars, like the kind of people who do that stuff,
right?
Real characters, coin collectors, bronies. You pick.
Yeah.
Flat earthers.
Anybody that's sort of like
Fringe,
is devoted to one thing.
Yes.
You're so right.
Which, you know what? I want to get out my good old DSM because I think that falls into like, I mean, not like, but I wonder if maybe not everybody is, but there are some people who are maybe like that histrionic personality disorder.
What is that?
I don't remember enough that doesn't come up very often, but I'll have to look.
It was sort of a good series for me to watch. Coincidentally, one of our brainiacs recommended one on, I think it was Amazon Prime, called The Booksellers, and that was such a great one to watch along with Murder Among the Mormons because they both explored what Sarah's talking about, this world where people try to find collectible books or collectible documents, and it's this treasure hunt. People fucking love treasure hunts.
They sure do.
That's what I'm learning from all of the stories that we talk about.
You know what? That's it. Because then looking at this, I'm like, no, this is not, they're not histrionic.
Yeah, what is histrionic?
That's
what is that?
Uncomfortable unless they're the center of attention, shift emotion rapidly, act very dramatically as though performing for an audience with exaggerated emotions and expressions, yet appears to lack sincerity, overly concerned with physical appearance, constantly, this might be us.
Yeah, maybe I have that. This sounds familiar.
That's so funny. No, we're not. Have low tolerance or frustration and become easily bored by routine, often beginning projects without finishing them or skipping from one event to another. Being self-centered and rarely showing concern for others. Difficulty maintaining relationships, often seeming fake or shallow with their dealings with others. No, we're not this. That's not us.
No, but I feel like we're surrounded by those people.
Oh, for sure. And these are personality disorders. This isn't like, okay. Don't worry, everybody.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Interesting. So, not that, but.
At any rate, I would recommend it if you're interested in like.
Yes.
I think people tend to be kind of intrigued by Mormonism.
I for sure am.
Maybe. What's the part that appeals to you in terms of interest? Where you're like, that's fascinating.
Well, I think it's almost perfect.
Because that's one of the elements where I'm like, wow, they all look the same.
Well, I do know enough about genetics to know how that works. It's pretty easy. Right. But no, I'm kidding. I mean, but also not. But no, I think it's the idea of like them, and it's almost designed this way, I think, of like, we have all these secrets that you don't get let in on until you
the mystery.
I'm like, what? Come on, just what do you got? What do those clothes look like? I want to see. Come on, what do you got going on there? What does that document say?
Yeah,
what do you get? What's in that? And just like weird stuff, like that makes me just that I don't really understand. Like but I remember I had good friends who were Mormon growing up, and I would go to the Mormon temple with them for their Sunday service, I guess it's called. Not temple.
You really dabbled.
No, yes, I definitely did. My mom always loved to joke, hey, remember that one time you were going to convert to Mormonism? I'm like, Mom, she loves that joke. She'll like, we'll be at a table and I'll be having like a very serious conversation or like I'll be doing something like She's like, remember that one time you did that? And I was like, well, what's really happening is that I didn't have good boundaries, and I wasn't, when I saw somebody who, when they came into my door and were like, let me show you about this, I was like, yes, please, here you go. I entertained them within the back of my mind, like, I'm not going to, convert to this, but I was like, go ahead, because who am I to cut you off and tell you that what I knew that at a very young, it's no surprise I became a therapist. Come on. I was being empathetic. Yeah. Really.
I do appreciate your open-mindedness, but I don't feel like we should encourage that door-to-door thing.
No, and then this is the best part. I remember this like it was yesterday. So they came and sat me down, and they at the table, and they had a flip book, like this little flip book, little picture book that they were explaining to me the story of Mormonism, and because that's what I that's how far it got. Then they opened up a flip book, and it was Jesus, and I started giggling, and so they were like, "What's so funny?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just overcome with the love of God."
You did not say that.
I did.
Why?
Because I knew it was the right answer, and I couldn't say, because you have a Jesus flip book and this is hilarious. Because that's what 13-year-old me was really thinking. So I said, I remember formulating, okay, what's the answer that will absolutely make them feel okay in this moment and validate their feelings in there and not put down their religion? I said, I just feel the love of God. And that brings a smile to my face. They loved that answer.
I can't.
This is 13-year-old Sarah.
I cannot.
Can you imagine?
I can't believe you were 13 and doing this.
Yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember where at the table I was sitting because my mom was behind me being all like, oh my God, my daughter's converting to Mormonism. Meanwhile, I'm trying to explain to her. I remember this so well. This is like when I knew, it's somewhere deep in my subconscious, I knew I was going to be a therapist and this was going to be my future. But my mom did not see that I was having a complete internal, dialogue with myself of these people are really passionate about this, and who are you to tell them this isn't true to them? And I was thinking that because she had exposed me to religions and gave me this universal understanding. And because of that, I couldn't just say, no, beat it when they came to the door. I was like, yes, come on in. I was like, love thy neighbor. Isn't that the message I would like, the takeaway, from all of it? And she didn't get it. And so she loves to say that, remember that one time? I'm like, Mom.
Well, I mean, you should love your neighbor, but
right? No, I'm saying that's the big takeaway. Yes,
this is my segue.
Oh, sorry.
What we love around here is Dipsea and their super sexy stories that are perfect to get your motor running. For maybe you just want to hook up with your hometown crush, or maybe you want to make sweet love to your partner, or maybe you just want to do the deed with yourself.
Yes,
and Dipsea will give you what you need, a story that will put you in the mood.
I'm pretty sure that this is all religion approved.
Right, and maybe they even have a category, because when you go on there on the app, you go on the Dipsea app, and then it'll be like, what do you like? And you can pick what you're into, and what maybe you like really sweet romance, maybe you like it hot and heavy, whatever. Then they'll suggest stories for you.
It is, let's face it, this whole crazy world we're living in right now has made it kind of hard to get the motor running sometimes.
Well, that's for sure.
Sometimes we need a little bit of help greasing the engine, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a little kickstart.
Just a little kickstart, throw some gasoline on the fire, get things all
and it reminds me of what you were talking about last week about how women sometimes don't even have the language to say what they want.
Yes.
And so this can help you too, get a better understanding of what you are even into and what you can tell your partner about.
What you like, what sounds good to you. Oh my God, yes. I love everything about that.
Yeah. So for listeners of the show, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days full access for free when you go to dipseastories.com/braincandy, dipseastories.com/braincandy.
Yes.
We're all for that.
Yes.
Okay, so you almost became Mormon, but then you didn't. And, I appreciate your curiosity about the beliefs and worldviews of other people, Sarah.
Yeah, so that's my answer of why I'm curious about it. Because I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, and
when do I get my own planet?
It's happening. I just know it. But I do recommend it. I think you guys would like it. It's 3 episodes, I think. Yeah. And like I said, it went perfectly with that Booksellers documentary on Amazon. So if you're interested, there you go.
Yeah. Do you think that's the thing we're just discovering now because of like, you know what's interesting is it with the generation that is passing away. And
what about them?
They're all of their collections, I feel like it's like one of the last generations of stuff that is in a way like antiques or timeless.
Like pre-digital age.
Yes, that's it. That is analog. Like, yes, it's like pre-digital age stuff. Even the furniture, it's just not, everything is disposable now.
Yeah,
Things
I was
are
even thinking
different.
about that when I was reading articles about the oldest person to ever live or whatever. And remember, we even talked about her on the show, the woman in France, and they have her birth certificate, but they didn't know if it was real, And I was thinking, like, that mystery for most of us would be solved because we leave these digital footprints everywhere. So we can corroborate how old somebody is based on all of that. But you're right. Like before that, you really had to put a bunch of puzzle pieces together to figure out stuff.
Yeah.
Or to find something.
Yeah. It just like, I saw this TikTok or something or on Instagram of this woman who was on a hunt to find the deed to her family's house. It's like a 230-something-year-old farmhouse. And there'd like been stories about how like the family put it in a milk jug to keep it safe and then hid the milk jug. And then it just seems like, yeah, we don't even have paper anymore like that. Like,
yeah,
it's online. We're not going to have treasure. So treasure hunting it's not going to be a thing.
Yeah, it's not as fun. And the booksellers even said that, how their livelihood was sort of became antiquated with the digital age, because if you found a book and it was a treasure, well, you could just go online and find 20 of them. It's not as fun.
Right.
Anyway, I was telling Sarah before we started recording how I read this fascinating article in The Atlantic about the silent treatment and what, like the psychology of the silent treatment. Now, is this something that you have been known to employ when you've been in an argument?
Me? The silent treatment?
You're like, never.
Literally never in my life.
Wait, so if you've never been one of those people where you're like all quiet and then someone would be like, what's wrong? And you're like, nothing.
Maybe a long time ago.
Okay. But that's not something you do as an adult.
No, because I think now I know the consequences of that. And this is the problem I ran into, is that I'm like, I go, you know what? Actually, there is, because if somebody asks me what's wrong, you're going to get the honest answer. But I also I'm pretty self-aware. And so I can say, this is an individual thing. I'm like, well, I just am having a bad day, or I had a bad dream last night that got me in a little bit of a bad mood or whatevs. So usually I can pinpoint or trace where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But I'm not one to use that, and because I know what that is.
Yeah.
I used to, for sure.
It's a very...
It's
a very common technique. I think, stereotypically women tend to use it. But anyway, it was just talking about why it's so corrosive to the person doing it and the person they're doing it to. And they were saying how it's highly effective as a punishment because it goes against how humans behave. Like, we're communal and social creatures, and so ignoring or being ignored is very unnatural to us. But it's very easy to get away with it without seeming abusive, because what did they do? Nothing. it was the absence of something.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, not responding to emotion is absolutely emotionally abusive.
Right, but like they can...
it's hard. It's
permissive.
Yes.
Or whatever, where you like... Mm-hmm. No one... It's hard to act like it's bad because they didn't actually do anything.
Right, they did nothing. Yeah. Oh,
so
God.
they were saying that psychologically, though, the results are similar to that of physical abuse, and that it's also very toxic to the person doing it because socially we're trained to respond. So in order to continually justify doing it, we have to have all these negative thoughts and anger inside in order to feel like we're justified in being silent to someone else.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
And they said it's super addictive, so your brain has trouble on stopping it. Like, because it takes a lot of humility to just say, you know what?
Oh, so much.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And they call it psychological quicksand.
Oh!
Like, it's hard to get out.
You know what? I've seen, yes.
Yeah. Because we all get
People
it. Like,
who are
as soon
stubborn, look out for this. Like, check yourself.
Well, I remember on the show we talked about this. There was an Asian man, I think it was Japanese, who he got into a small argument with his wife early in their marriage and quit talking to her and didn't speak to her for 40 years. And they stayed married the whole time.
No.
Yes.
That is like an actual nightmare to me.
Right?
That's like being in prison.
Right.
That's so fucked up.
And they were like, why didn't you leave? And she was like, well, he put a roof over my head.
No! Okay,
yes!
That's abuse. That's abuse.
I mean. Yeah, so...
Wow,
I mean, most people aren't that extreme, but...
That, makes me nervous to even think about.
Don't you think that usually, though, the silent treatment ends with just, not even a discussion? Like, you just kind of go back to normal without ever...
It is one of the 4 horsemen of the relationship apocalypse.
Yes, tell them about
stonewalling, contempt, resentment, and criticism.
Ooh, I didn't know that one.
Mm-hmm. So being like criticizing what they do.
Right.
Those are, when you see those, it's like
trouble.
Ain't no coming back. Because what it shows, it's like speaking to the greater, like let's see what that means. Like if you're somebody who's stonewalling somebody or giving somebody the silent treatment, it either means you're trying to emotionally manipulate them, or you do not have the emotional capacity or maturity or awareness to handle what's required of an adult relationship.
And they said that what it often does is it just forces the person receiving the silent treatment to say sorry even when they're not, because they want it to stop.
I am more often the recipient of the silent treatment.
Yeah, I believe that.
Come on.
I believe that.
That is the truth.
So you're so desperate for it to end that you'll just be like,
for sure,
let's bury the hatchet.
The amount of things that I'm like, yeah, sure. Because even if I see that I understand that, yep, I will absolutely recognize my behavior. I have no problem with recognizing things, like holding a mirror up to my own behavior, like analyzing my own.
Well, you're almost too open-minded.
Yes, for sure.
Right. Which is why you almost became a Mormon.
This is right. And why I say I need to stay away from cults. Because I am exactly who would end up accidentally joining one or starting one.
Or starting one.
One of the two.
What if you accidentally started? Wait, is that what we're... I think that's what we're doing.
I think we might have already done that, Susie.
Yeah, I think
so.
Which is
really funny because I was having a conversation with Nehemiah the other day, and we were talking about how, in these, modern times, just, start a commune. We can grow our own food. We'll have a school. We essentially just discussed starting a cult now that I'm thinking about it. Oh,
I
God.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone was going to have a successful cult, it might be you, though.
Yeah, you know? It'd be
You
fine.
have real potential in
What
the
would
cult
we name
community.
it would be called Sunshine Farms.
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah. Come on.
Something
that would
that
totally
people that
be
shop
the name
at Whole
of it.
Foods would be into.
Yes, Sunshine Farms. And you'd be like, farms. How bad could that be? It's a farm.
I'll tell you what's not bad at all.
What?
Is having a bra that fits properly.
That is lovely. See, I might start a cult, but it's not going to be one of those bra-free ones. I'm not burning any of these bras. Maybe those women wouldn't have burned their bras if they were wearing comfortable bras.
That is such a good point.
Because
Maybe
I
they
would have
just had
burned them
ill
back
fit.
then. I wanted to burn mine until I found these bras.
Well, that's the thing is I talk a lot about how I hate bras. And so if I'm going to wear one, it has to be comfortable. Yes. And that's why I love Third Love, because it is comfort that you deserve. They have a million different sizes, premium cotton fabrics available in drapey easy fits, and in their loungewear too. Mm-hmm. Super nice. And then they have a quiz so you can make sure you got the right size on the go. And the perfect fit promise, so you don't like it, just send it back. Returns are free. I just love everything about it because it's no risk. Treat yourself with something that fits like it was made just for you with Third Love. Go to thirdlove.com/brain now to get 20% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/brain for 20% off today. That's a good deal.
That is. And you know what? Definitely treat yourself. The other day, I was like, it's Friday night. I'm a single lady. I only want to go on a date with myself. So I took myself to a nice Italian restaurant. I sat at the bar. I did my crossword puzzle. And don't you know, underneath, I was wearing my fancy bra and undies.
It changes how you behave.
It did. And I did not talk to one guy. I was like, I'm not interested at any man or woman at the bar. I just want, except the bartender because he's my buddy. But yeah, shout out to Santiago. So that, but besides that, yeah, he's really great. Yeah, I love it. So treat yourself. The end.
We talked on the show about, we sort of predicted like a pandemic baby boom, and then we said how it was a baby bust in the end.
Yeah.
But what I was delighted to read about in the New York Times was that there is one group of people that is in fact having a baby boom, and that is the dancing community, like ballet.
Oh, because they finally get to.
They finally get to go ahead and procreate without the threat of losing their goddamn job.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's so lovely for them. I wonder about female athletes too.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there are certain careers that when women have them, it's a real debate. Like, is it the right time? You know, am I going to lose my job? What? You know, there's so much to consider if your body is your business.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And they, you know, when we first started the pandemic, it was like, maybe it won't take that long. And so a lot of them were mad that they didn't realize at that time, or they could have
started.
Really, but still, I'm just excited for them. I remember my mom is a nanny, and when back in the day, she was the nanny for two people, man and woman, who were both ballet dancers. And they had this baby, and she went back to work 3 weeks later.
Wow.
Dancing in the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater.
Wow.
And, like, what a workout that was. Because, like, you got to get your body back in total peak performance shape in, like, 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
Yeah. Did you ever see, I couldn't imagine doing it as a ballet dancer and without the support of the next person I'm going to talk about. Did you ever see Beyonce's Homecoming on HBO?
I never did.
Susie!
I know.
Watch it.
I never did.
Because they do, it's music and it's the show, but also it's like a documentary behind the scenes of her coming back from having twins. And 9 months later, I think even less than that, doing this performance and going through and seeing what her body goes through and how much she changes. It's like, damn, she is a badass.
I mean, women do not get enough credit.
They do not.
What their bodies do. It's amazing.
Yeah, Beyonce's not the only one. It's everyone who's a mother in any form.
It is a real pickle when, like, particularly with careers that have a limited shelf life, which ballet is definitely one of them. Modeling, things like that, where you're basically retired at 35, you know?
Yeah.
And that is the exact same window where people try to have a baby. What a dilemma.
Oh my God, I just choked.
Oh, what happened?
Absolutely nothing. I took a deep breath in.
Drinking?
Yeah, which it was empty now.
That's why you don't want low calorie
That's
wine,
right.
people.
So, do you think this is something, because like as you were saying this, you know, my mind thinks about when somebody makes the decision to start any path towards a professional career at whatever your talent is. It's usually pretty young. And I wonder if it might be, chances are good, it's before you really have an opportunity to maybe ask some of those questions or answer some of those questions.
Yeah, because even if you're aware of it, because these people that become full-time ballet dancers, they have to know that by the time they're about 14, 15.
You don't know if you're going to have kids then.
Right, and they might be aware that that's an issue, but you just don't have the perspective to understand what a difficult decision
and
that
you
will
don't
be.
feel the biology. Like, you don't feel the... I did not feel
urgency.
that. And, it's a real... And I know it's all hormones because it changes week to week. But, you know, you're at the mercy of them, and you don't have that when you're 14, 15. Oh, God, that, like, those kind of things give me, like, this wave of, like, well, it's like that empathy feeling of, like, but, like, I just imagine what...
Yeah.
That feeling of regret or that feeling of, like... But, you know, also I was thinking, this is all based on a very... Well, ever since I read the book, that Habits book, it really makes me think about how much is just, are we conditioned to think is the right thing to do or what we're supposed to do because we're watching it and we're seeing that happen. Like, this is all being said with the idea that all these people really want to have kids. You know, and maybe if we like change the narrative and put some importance and value on the art that you create while you're, you know, like that kind of purpose instead of just like the kid.
If we valued career as much for women as we
would it feel as devastating?
Motherhood.
Yes, to have that as not an option.
Yeah, because it is culturally loaded.
Yeah, because the older I get and the more I think, well, maybe that's like not a thing. Maybe I'm not going to have my own children. Maybe I'm going to, you know, not be a mom. And that's fine. And like the older I get, the more I'm just kind of like, okay, I can entertain that. But there was a time where like that thought even crossed my mind was like devastating, you know? And then I had to step back and think like, why? Who's saying that? And where did I get this belief? And what does that mean for like a fulfilling life?
These are the questions that fascinate me. Who am I if I'm not a mother? Who am I if I'm not a wife? Where do I have value?
Well, you definitely do.
Well, we all do.
Yes.
But
correct.
That's not the message we're getting.
I know. That's why we have to ask those questions because it isn't until we ask. The whole system is designed to make you think the opposite so that you can, I don't know, work harder, buy this, whatevs. And as soon as you become aware and you ask yourself that question, you take power away from that system that's driving you.
Yes.
Snap, snap,
and
snap,
like,
snap, snap.
Just asking the question, why do I feel this way?
Yes.
Is this even how I personally feel? Can be such a good start.
For sure. Oh, just awareness. That's it. It's, oh, gosh.
Is this what I want? I know, man. But it's so hard to do that because, it's embedded. All this stuff gets internalized for sure.
Yeah. It sure does. We were having another conversation the other day. I don't even know when it was. Actually, I do. It was Tuesday, April 6th, because I wrote it down right here. That's funny. Right next to it. But we were talking, and you said, you were like, who is Sarah deep inside? And I was like, yeah! Aww. Let me write that down. Who is Sarah deep inside? This page is still blank, so and fun to fit. Maybe it was more of like putting that thought out into the universe that made me just think that.
I do think that's so important.
Yeah. Good reminder.
And it's a hard question to answer because of all these messages we get every day in every way about what you ought to be.
Right. Which is why...
Who are you?
Yes. And there are elements like that beautiful article that you wrote in the beginning of the pandemic about how it's similar to reality television where it makes it... You strip everything down and you are able to find out what's important. That's like friendships and connection. And, you start caring less and less about those other things.
It's real tricky, though, when the question involves people's careers because anytime there's, your livelihood, because then it's not just about identity. Then it's also about moolah.
Survival.
Yeah.
Like hierarchy of needs stuff. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I need.
Fascinating, Suze. So smart.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll tell you what I need, and that is some downtime playing Best Fiends.
Oh, there's a way to just, turn it off, relax for a while. Don't worry about any of this stuff.
My God, just have a laugh.
Yes.
Download Best Fiends. It is so fun. It's a little top-rated mobile puzzle adventure, which are all words we love.
Yeah.
Top-rated mobile puzzle adventure.
I love all...
Yes,
you're
please.
Totally right. Every single one of those words. Yep. I'm in.
Best Fiends is a world full of lovable characters. They have thousands of levels, tons of content's always being added, so it keeps it interesting and fun. And then you just keep leveling up so you can get to where Sarah is. It's just really fun. And, we never get tired of solving puzzles. And since we don't go on the challenge anymore, this is a good proxy version. Fun never ends. Just don't blame me if you become a little obsessed. Download Best Fiends free today on Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends. Love a little game. Okay, so Dancer Baby Boom. Did you see the Canadian Olympic outfits for this?
No. Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm Googling them right now. I love this kind of shit. Canadian.
I mean, Olympic. 2 words. Canadian Tuxedo.
Oh no, I love it.
It's just a denim shenanigan going on. And it is, maybe Denim Nightmare would be... No,
a Denim Nightmare? Wait,
maybe you'll love it. I'm not
mad about this. What are you mad about?
The graffiti and the accoutrement.
I
love denim.
Okay.
Stop trying to make it edgy. What are you doing?
You know what? I could have done without... I don't know how graffiti really fits into their culture. They are trying to be edgy. I like it more when they go to... Well, you know what? On second thought...
Yeah.
There was a part of me where my instinct was I like things that are more traditional to the culture of that place. But then when I thought about that, that has very much been appropriated, the First Nations people and the use of tribal imagery, I guess, or Native American, well, not Native American, First Nation people in that are being worn and almost as a costume. So this, I maybe as a departure from doing that, they went with a more modern culture of Canada. I'm really stretching this here and trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and the most credit. Because look, we've got I see Jamaican flag colors on there. Mm-hmm. This feels more urban, which I hate the use of that word in this context. this this seems almost like appropriation of black culture in a way.
Do you remember that meme
God.
of Steve Buscemi?
Yes, with the baseball cap being cool at school.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's what it feels like, where they're like, look how cool we can be.
Yeah.
Canada.
Right. With the no, okay. As their uniform?
No, like that outfit they wear at the opening ceremony.
Right, which might as well be a uniform. Like,
yeah.
So what, they're going to look like a jean jacket motorcycle gang?
But, like, of Canadians.
Of Canadians.
You know, like, it's not...
Right.
It feels like edgy cosplay.
Yes. Yeah, which is, it feels kind of like cultural appropriation.
Yeah, it's like, what are you guys doing
What are you doing? But then also there's this other picture I see of them in, like, this Ralph Lauren, like, wind jacket. Is this the
that's
other?
Fine. Is that the red and white get up?
It's like white all over. Yeah, I mean, probably the same thing you saw.
That's fine. I'm fine with that one.
What do we think?
It's the denim monstrosity that's...
Oh, I guess the colors
stuck
are
in the
Hudson
craw.
Bay's colors.
Hudson Bay?
Yeah, but what is Hudson Bay?
Hudson Bay is fucking New York.
No, it's a life inspiring you with the latest ideas to help you live a life filled with style. Share your colorful life with HB. It's a brand.
Oh,
Those are
okay.
the people
Wait a minute. Oh, it says Canada's iconic department store.
Okay, it's that's it. We don't know shit about Canadian culture. This was not the way to teach it to us, Canada.
We're total losers.
This didn't have didn't send the message you, because here I am looking at that like it's I don't know. Oh my gosh, Suze, we just had a full the logo, the thing I was like, it's the Jamaican flag. So, this is Hudson Bay's logo.
I thought it was a...
This is essentially like Sweden has a jacket designed by IKEA.
I thought, when you said Hudson Bay, I thought you meant like Hudson River.
Right. I totally get what you're saying.
Okay, but you're telling me
yes.
this outfit
is
what is it got to do with Hudson Bay, the brand?
So clearly Hudson Bay designed this, like Ralph Lauren.
Yeah,
you know,
but it's ugly.
Yes, it's super ugly. But like,
who cares if they designed it?
But it's like, okay, the same way that is Ralph Lauren like the American brand, like Calvin Klein?
Ralph Lauren does the Olympic.
The way that
outfits.
Ralph Lauren does it for the U.S., where that's like associated with it. Like maybe this is like I was looking at Hudson Bay's logo, being like, why the hell did they put the Jamaican flag on this jacket? That looks dumb.
Oh.
And now I understand that this jacket is elements of something that makes sense if you're Canadian. So maybe I'm just missing this cultural reference right here.
Well,
and I shouldn't be so close-minded, I guess.
That's incorrect. Because
it's not even, I will say, anybody who knows graffiti can argue that that's not even good graffiti.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
and why is there graffiti? It's the goddamn Olympics.
I mean, I'm into graffiti as an art form, but this is because maybe they're adding. But like, are you going to say that about like surfing and skateboard? They're like trying to add that. They're trying to make the Olympics more fun.
Yeah, that's what the article I read said. They're trying to like appeal to young people.
Here's the thing, though.
That's why I feel like this Steve Buscemi thing.
It is, and you can't be at the same time like if kids went there and started tagging and graffitiing up the wall, you can't get mad at them.
That's right. That's what you encouraged it.
You just encouraged it. Okay, I can settle on that. That's fun.
Wow, Hudson Bay.
Yeah, who knew?
I learned a lot about geography during this time.
Yeah,
too.
And their logo. And I have questions, though. We're going to need our Canadian listeners, and we know there's a lot of you guys. Shout out to the Canadians. We love you guys.
Yeah, we do have a disproportionate number of Canadians.
I have a disproportionate number of Canadian fans from the challenge. Like they were, I don't know if it's like, maybe that's it. And I love them. I remember I went to Vancouver for a wine event with my ex-husband, and I had never been embraced people were so nice, and like I felt very popular. So I really loved
nice.
Canada.
They're very welcoming.
Yeah. I had never had that experience. I got cans thrown at me in San Francisco.
I always joke about how if you watch the Canadian version of Intervention, you can see the cultural differences. Because
Really?
like on the American one, they like run away and the camera has to chase them and there's all this drama. On the Canadian one, they're just like, hey, would you mind going to rehab? And they're like, okay. I see your point.
They're not resistant.
I think I do have a problem.
Oh, that's funny.
They're just so much nicer.
They are.
But then they're so nice that when you tell them they're nicer, they're like, no, we're not.
Well,
like,
how are they going to feel about criticism towards their jackets?
I think they're going to like it.
Yeah, this is funny. The U.S. versus Canadian Olympic outfits look like the plot of a bad 80s camp film where the freaks/geeks have overcome the preppies. That's a hilarious
What are the
tweet.
U.S. ones? They're probably ugly too, right?
No, the U.S. ones are the ones that look like the Ralph Lauren, like, they're like...
Okay, yeah, like all-American beauty.
Yeah, they look like... Exactly that. The 80s camp preppies who definitely like have the rich kid camp, and they're like yachts on lakes, like the little boats like look like
yes.
Yeah, they're like
New
sailing.
England.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. New England boat shoes,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's got its own problems.
Yeah. No people of color in this advertisement for it, which already I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. We're mad.
Already, yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. What's new?
Next up, I was going to talk about this, and then I got in.
Oh my God. These Twitter feeds, though, are so funny. Somebody wrote the back of Team Canada's jacket, and then it has Degrassi, the next generation on it.
Totally.
That's exactly what it looks like, and that's a hilarious reference. Okay, the end. I have to take away this. I have to shut it down because I'll just keep laughing in the background.
Okay.
Focus, Sarah.
I was going to talk about this story today, and then I got a message from Brainiac who wanted me to. Her name was Andrea, so I know the Brainiacs will like this. We talked, I think, on the show about this weirdness where human feet, in shoes were showing up on the beach. I don't remember which beach.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God. We have literally talked about everything.
Right. We're almost done. Like 600 might be our last episode.
Never. Okay.
No, I won't jinx it. Okay. Well, the mystery has been solved, although I'm dubious. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because it sounded like there was some sort of serial killer situation.
Where people were getting their feet cut off.
Yeah, why are these? Because they were just the feet of these people in their shoes.
Their shoes is the real...
Yes.
Okay, gosh.
And also a clue as to what the answer is, which is these were all people who died naturally, maybe like suicide, not that that's natural, but, like by choice.
Okay.
Or like fell overboard off a ship or something. And then, like fish will eat you if you're in the water.
Yeah.
Like after you're dead.
Yeah.
And they tend to eat at your ankles, so then your feet are, separated from the body.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But it used to be the case, the reason why this is a new development is because it used to be the case that the feet would then sink to the bottom. But right about the time that we developed technology that made shoes lighter, then they float and go onto the beach. And so we're just like seeing them now. Yes.
Because people wear fucking Crocs. The most buoyant shoe.
Right.
Arguably the most.
It's the equivalent of wearing like a life vest on your feet.
Oh my goodness.
So it is not a serial killer. It's just light footwear.
You know what? It's interesting because we got to look. You ain't going to find no wedges washing up on shore.
Right. Right. Or like platform shoes.
Yeah. None of those.
Not a lot of those going overboard either.
Oh my gosh.
So I think there's part of us, though, that kind of wanted it to be a Jack the Ripper type situation.
It seems very...
I know, because how are they all suddenly wearing light shoes?
And, like, I'm really trying to picture how light a shoe would have to be in order for it to be washed up.
The picture looked like a Ked.
Yeah, that's not light. That's not, like, filled with... Unless they're Air Jordans or actual... That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not a lot of buoyant... Have they tested shoes? Just chuck some shoes. You know what? Are we seeing a lot of shoes wash up on shore?
Well, but no one would care. They wouldn't be reported.
I know, but like...
We can't track that because nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, but maybe you'd notice it. You'd be like, wow, there's a lot of shoes
I don't know.
here.
Have you seen any shoes on the shore?
I don't know.
I see a lot of shoes on power lines.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe I have seen a lot of shoes on the shore now that you say that. And I feel like in watching the show alone, they found shoes washed up.
Did they?
I don't know. I don't remember. Now I'm thinking I just planted this in my mind. I honestly don't know.
I think there's still a chance there's more to the story.
There definitely is. Because here's the thing. Is it
goofy.
location specific? That's what I feel like it was.
So. I know, and that's why it was so weird.
We would find this washing up in Hudson Bay.
Right.
And other bays.
You're right. I feel like they just put this out there like, don't worry, everybody, it's shoe technology.
Don't worry. Come on.
To get them off the scent.
Come on. I'm going to actually Google,
we're not
do shoes
falling
float?
For that.
Do shoes float? Doesn't give me a lot. It will depend on the material of the shoe. Yeah, we know this.
Well, yeah, it does. But, like, I guess most people aren't going overboard in their, like, Louboutin boots or whatever.
Yeah.
It tends to be, like, athletic shoes or Crocs or boat shoes. It's just the the American Olympic team. Boat shoes only.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're not falling for this explanation.
I don't. And
Big
also,
shoe.
Do shoes float on Google doesn't give you the answers that you...
It's not like, since 2017, yes. Because then we'd be like, okay, so they just started floating a couple years ago. This explains the feet on the shore. Yeah, we're not falling for it.
Yeah, I'm not. Also, I just got a text message from my friend Jessie, shout out Jessie, who says she's currently listening to our episode right now where I talked about the nuclear spill in Simi Valley, and she said she's dying laughing about the fact that I'm just learning about this. But don't worry, I'm
like
probably
everyone
safe.
knows about it. Wait, why does she think you're safe?
She said she doesn't think I have too much to worry about.
No, she's just doing the thing where you're like, it's fine.
Right.
It's not. That's what Aaron Brockovich
She said she's
said.
laughing so hard that you grew up in Wildwood with me, and this is the first time you're hearing about this. Well, I had my suspicions, but I didn't know.
You were busy trying to pick
a
religion. 7. You were busy talking to Mormon door-to-door salesmen.
Talking to Mormon.
Like, you can't do it all,
right.
Jessie.
I only have so much empathy to go around, people. Wow.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
Sarah's fascination with, like, niche religions shielded her from nuclear disasters.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny. Okay, well,
let's wind it down, Sarah.
I need to wind it down because I sure as heck don't want to go thinking about the
I feel like we started to we peaked too early with the office chair farting. I really do. Like, that was awesome. And it was all downhill. It was like, the murder of the Mormons. Who cares?
Susie, we care.
What? I'm glad. It was good.
And we learned about your side hustle and your chicken costume.
My God, I should have wrote that down on my notes here.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, was that this episode?
Was it?
No, it was like last one.
That didn't happen.
Seriously, that was the last episode. We're like,
Wow, I'm in a time warp. I don't even know what.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
We did talk about. Well, you know, it's been a rough year.
We cover a lot of ground here.
We talked about the psychology of the silent treatment, which I think was
very
illuminating.
Important. Yeah.
A baby boom for dancers. God bless them. Mazel tov to all the dancers making babies.
Yes.
And then the Canadian Tuxedo.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's why I was so distracted. Because I was looking at pictures of and trying to wrap my head around what on earth. Who designed this? That's what we need to know.
Hudson Bay.
Oh my God, that's right. But I need to know the actual designer. Like, I feel like there's more to this story. Like, that's like they're giving. Maybe they're like trying to do the right thing. I feel like this might be like,
they meant well,
but maybe they like gave they. I don't know. We'll see.
There's more to come on that for sure.
Yes.
Don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Check out our merch on our website.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so good. I love it.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you know that everyone has an aura? Do you know what color your aura is? Maybe you have a fiery red personality or a quiet and calm blue or green. You could be an organized and methodical yellow or an explosive purple. Come join me, Mystic Michaela, on my podcast, Know Your Aura, to find out all about how your personality can be explained in colors.